my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot.
All right, and we are back after an extended break. We are here, Erick and Bradshaw. You can email us, erickandbradshaw@gmail.com, erickandbradshaw@gmail.com. If you want a sticker, you send an email to the email. Spotify. Don't cancel us. YouTube. Apple Podcasts. Pandora. iHeartRadio. We're back for episode 78. Brad has been trying to stay alive, fighting the elements, the cold, the depression, the loneliness, the wind, the snow. And Erick has been out of the country. He just got back from the Ukraine, and I don't know what he was doing over there. He said on the flight back, all he listened to were Neil Young records. But episode 78, how's it going, man?
Oh, fantastic. How's my Bradley doing?
Good, hanging in there.
I know that there's something relevant going on over there. Is there more to that? Is there like an inside joke to the Ukraine thing that I should understand? I know, isn't like Russia invading Ukraine right now or something like that?
Apparently, if you ask some people, it's the start of World War III. And the U.S.
then
sent troops.
there's also
US sent
something
troops
to do with Taiwan and China, right? At the same time, kind of.
Yeah, so you know.
Well, that's literally, that sentence is the extent of what I know. I know that there's something going on there, and there's something going on there.
Yeah, Russia wanting to invade Ukraine, and the United States sent some troops over there, and it could be the start of World War III. And we could have nukes dropping everywhere. And I learned on TikTok that the reason Russia wants to invade Ukraine is because Putin has always wanted to invade Ukraine, and also because if you look at a map of the world, Russia is actually fucked when it comes to ports of import and export to their country, because most of the ocean, coastal ocean border that they have is so far up north that it's frozen and ships can't get there. But there's a little tiny way to get like through down the Mediterranean into Russia, or kind of into Russia. And the Ukraine takes up a giant chunk of that. So if Russia could just take over Ukraine, they would have access to all these ports. That's like a small little, like 25% of the whole thing. The whole thing is just a giant shit
Well, and then
show.
they produce a lot of oil, right?
Russia? I have no idea.
No, Ukraine.
I have no idea.
I think Ukraine does. I don't know either, talking out of my ass.
Yeah.
I like what you just said. That's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to look at a map. You're saying that, and I'm like,
Right.
I mean, don't they have a bunch of the Pacific Ocean? But I'm so bad with geography.
No, like China takes up a bunch of it, and then a bunch of it is so far up north, apparently it's all icy. I don't understand a lot of it, and that whole thing is like a little small piece of why they want to invade. And this is all kind of just old news now. It's like, I don't think World War III
old
is
news,
gonna
new
happen.
news. Well, isn't it funny? It feels like every 2 years, there's like that topic comes up. Oh, this is going to be World War III.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's like we
weird.
never really ended the Cold War. You know what I mean? It dimmed way down.
Yeah.
You know, TikTok took over and no one really gives a shit. But it seems like this constant power struggle between communism and the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's true. But a lot of people in America don't give a fuck. And
Because,
probably
I mean,
couldn't even
you
find
could
Ukraine on
you
the
could
map.
talk about, I mean, again, out of my element, don't know much about this, but then couldn't you talk about like Iran and Iraq during the 90s? You know, those were just like little wars with big backers, and it's kind of always been that way, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Russia's backing one, America's backing one, you know, China's backing one, and we just fight over here and then fight over here, and like, well, this is going to start World War III. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I think we're too invested. I think China's too invested financially in things that it doesn't make sense for them to ever fight anybody, because that, you know, what I mean? It's more like economic warfare. It's like, well, we could just collapse your economy.
Yeah.
Why would we go to war with you? It doesn't make any sense. You know, we could
I
win
like to think
way easier.
I like to think, even when I'm out like at the bar or something and people are getting tense, I just think, doesn't everybody just want to go home at the end of the day? So I think that it's like a global scale too. Like, don't we all just want to keep living our lives and not blow each other up? And I think then I project that thought onto everybody, and I say nobody's going to do anything bad. So, but then people get crazy. sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I get the feeling that all these little things are just like the conversations you're never gonna hear from like really powerful people.
Yeah.
It's all just like a show. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll just invade over there and do this. Like, okay, if you do that, we'll do this. But you never hear any of those conversations.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It seems
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's probably that way, where there really is just a group of 30 people at the top that are like, okay, you do that, I'll do this.
Yeah.
Let these fucking idiots keep arguing for the next 100 years.
You're probably right.
I don't know. I'm just an idiot that does construction.
So next weekend's the Super Bowl.
Are you ecstatic?
Yes. I'm super ecstatic. Because
are you gonna go to a Super Bowl game one of these years?
I don't know. Maybe that'd be fun. I'd go.
Would you?
Yeah, it'd be fun just to say you
they
went.
They pick the stadium like all year which stadium it's gonna be at, right?
Mm-hmm.
What stadium is it gonna be at this year? It's in California.
Los Angeles. Yes.
Yep.
Next year, I think it's Vegas. Don't quote me on that.
Ooh,
Don't quote.
that would be a dope one. I have no interest in football really, but for some reason I really want to go to that stadium. I just want to see what it's like in there.
And you'd be so drunk you wouldn't even remember it.
That happens. That happens.
Okay, wait. So I kind of nerd out over the Super Bowl and all the stuff. I mean, I have a bunch of notes here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
fucking.
I remember last year we did the how long is the
national
okay.
anthem. Yeah. So this year, Super Bowl coming up in a week from today. A week from tomorrow. Sorry, on February 13th, and Valentine's Day is the day after the Super Bowl. I don't know if that's gonna be conflicting for couples or I don't know, but it's a weird thing. Valentine's Day is the day after the Super Bowl. It's
like every 7 years that it happens or something like that.
I have no idea. It's hard to. I don't keep track of fucking Valentine's Day. Playing in the Super Bowl this year, Super Bowl 56 is the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams.
Woo! I'm going for the Bengals, dog.
So last year was the first time I believe that a team went to the Super Bowl that it was in their stadium, and then it's happening again this year. Los Angeles is in the Super Bowl in their home stadium. That's interesting.
Didn't know that.
For the national anthem, they just announced it a couple weeks ago. It's being sung by Mickey Guyton. Mickey Guyton. Didn't know who that was when they announced it. Had to do some Googling. I watched some YouTube videos. Are you frozen?
No.
Jesus Christ. Look, I'm super worried about being canceled now, and there's like 2 topics of mine that go over a lot of racial, non-PC fucking stuff. So, I'm sorry. When it comes to betting on national anthem, you have to take things into whatever, like race, size, gender. I feel like these things play into how long they're going to be singing the national anthem. So that's all. Only reason I'm bringing these things up. It's a woman, and she's African American, and she's a country singer. I listened to some songs of hers, and the over/under is 1 minute 37 seconds. So that's what we'll be betting on. 1 minute 37 seconds. Last year I lost the bet on the national anthem. I found out the longest ever was Alicia Keys at 2 minutes 35 seconds, and the shortest ever was Jewel at 1 minute 27 seconds. So that makes me think this 1 minute 37 seconds is low. I say take the over because she is gonna be fucking a lot of things come. She's gonna be extending those notes. I say take the over for sure. That's what I'll be doing. She's almost gonna hit 2 minutes in my opinion. So that's a tricky one right there. Also, singing the Star Spangled Banner is Jhené Aiko, who's one of my favorite R&B artists of all time. Nobody really cares about the Star Spangled Banner. I couldn't even tell you really how it starts, but then they do that and they do the national anthem. Then you have a bunch of different bets. Well, mainly you have right now the line is Rams minus 4.5 or Bengals plus 4.5. So you take the Rams minus 4.5 points or the Bengals plus 4.5 points. If you think the Bengals are going to win, take the Bengals plus 4.5, and you give yourself a little space there in case they lose by a point. But that line will probably change by the game time. You can bet on what the first commercial will be, Taco Bell or TurboTax. Whose commercial will appear first, Taco Bell or TurboTax? Right now, TurboTax is a large favorite. So you'll make more money if you bet on Taco Bell. That's a tough bet. So you have that. Then you obviously have the Gatorade Color Bet, which I'll do that too. And that's a tough one because I all the Gatorade Color Bets I've done when they dump the Gatorade on the coach at the end of the game, I've always based it off of which team do I think is going to win, and then I base it off the color of that team. So like if I thought the Bengals were going to win, I would bet orange color Gatorade. Literally, like the 5-6 years I've bet on it, that theory has never worked out for me, but I still kind of think that. I think that the guy making the Gatorade before the game is like, what's my team color? Oh, I'll make it red because my team's red. I don't know why, but the probability for the colors right now are in this order. Most likely is orange, then blue, then green, then clear, then red, then purple. So right now, if you put $100 on purple, you'd win $900 if it is, in fact, purple. I don't think it'll be purple. I would probably go with orange, but who knows? So you have that Gatorade Color Bet. That's a fun bet. Then you can bet on will the price of Bitcoin go up or down throughout the course of the game? From the start of the game to the end of the game, will the price of Bitcoin then be lower or higher? And the odds right now are on higher. No,
yeah,
the odds are on
low.
The odds are on lower. The odds are that it'll be lower after the game than before the game. I'm not betting on that. That's a crazy ass bet. You can bet on will any player propose to his girlfriend on the field after the game. The odds are heavily on no, but of course it's possible. If you put $100 on yes, you'd win $400. That's I feel like that's actually kind of likely. I don't know. That feels like a likely thing to happen. Valentine's Day is the next day. You just win the Super Bowl. Fuck it. So I don't know. Here, the blood's pumping. So maybe that'll happen. I'm not going to bet on that, but it could happen. Oh, and then, of course, the halftime show, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar. Very highly anticipated halftime show this year. I'd say you can bet on a lot of things about the halftime show, but you can bet on what the first Eminem song is going to be. And this is going from most likely to least likely. Lose Yourself, My Name Is, The Real Slim Shady, Without Me, or Stan. If you put $100 on Stan, you'd win $700. I think you'd be throwing your money down the toilet. But that's an interesting bet, too. I might play with that, or I'll just remember it. Because that's
what they that just doesn't make sense to me. There's like 300 Eminem songs, and they've narrowed it down to 6 of them, and you're supposed to bet on those 6. What if none of them hit?
Then you
get their money back?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. Then the bet is voided. Yeah.
Okay.
That's an interesting one. I think one year when like Maroon 5 did it, I bet on what the first song would be, but other than that, that's fucking impossible to know. I wish you were like a part of the halftime show, like you were gonna be holding some lights or glow sticks or something, and you knew what song they were gonna play first, and you just go put the fucking whole 401k on fucking The Real Slim Shady and fucking be like, boom. But I don't know. That's kind of a crapshoot. And then, like I was mentioning a few months ago, I think when this was announced, you can bet on will Snoop Dogg smoke on stage. And the no is highly favored. So you can bet on that. I still have a feeling that might happen. And if you put $100 on yes, you'd win $190 back. I don't know about that, but I still think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd take that bet.
I don't know. And then that's
probably in his contract. Like, they're like, you can't do this. And he's going to look at how much money he's going to make and be like, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Well, but it's always like, what's the worst thing that happens? They don't invite you back? I don't know.
You void your contract and don't get paid?
He doesn't need money. What does he need money for?
What are you talking about?
He's rich.
Yeah, he's rich, but
I don't know.
I don't know. I heard a video the other day of Snoop Dogg talking about, yeah, I don't know. He's talking about that racist piece of shit. And he's talking about Trump. And the guy's like, yeah, but didn't you do the roast of Donald Trump? And he's like, you know how much money I got paid for that fucking thing?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, yeah, I fucking roasted him. Like, da, da, da. It's like, well, you could say the same thing. Like, well, you're rich. You didn't need to do that, but you still did it.
Yeah.
He's money hungry. He's money hungry.
Probably not going to happen. But who knows?
You want to make a side bet between me and you? Because I bet you.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Because the whole thing, since the Janet Jackson boob, they have a delay, you know, so if the camera
even if he
shows,
did, they might just be like, boop.
Yeah. So, and then of course the average ticket price for Super Bowl I, which was in 1955, I think, was $12, and the average Super Bowl ticket price this year, do you want to guess?
$3,500.
$8,500.
The average price is $8,000.
8.5, yeah. So this is Super Bowl 56. So
that's the craziest bullshit I've ever heard.
I thought it'd be higher. I mean, you can obviously buy tickets that are like fucking $30,000, but you can buy nosebleeds for like $2,000. I'm sure. You know.
Why would you? Okay.
Because you say you went to. Sometimes some people just have money they gotta blow. You know.
I guess.
So it's gonna be a fucking good one. I'm ready.
Okay.
And if I
Why do you
had
have a
to pick,
Buccaneers shirt on?
Because it's fucking Super Bowl week. Rams minus 4.5 or Bengals plus 4.5. If I had, and I'll bet on this, but when I have to place the money on the bet, I'm probably going to be taking the Rams. So, because you can't think emotionally, you have to think what's going to happen. And last year, I put money on the Chiefs minus 3, I think, and lost. Last year, I lost on the national anthem and the game. What's
the odds of the Bengals winning? Do they have just an odds?
I would have to look. I don't know.
33% or something like that?
Maybe more than that. I mean, the Rams are favored by 4 points. I don't know.
Okay.
Right now.
I hope the Bengals. I've always liked the Bengals. I don't know why.
A lot of people, I think, are rooting for them. I think, well, because they've never won a Super Bowl. So people like that.
Yeah.
And the
underdog,
like the underdogs.
thing.
Yeah.
I like their jersey. I think they have a cool jersey.
They got a good team. And then after that, it'll be the fucking slow, downward, dark, slow, creeping spiral into sadness and desperation.
After football's done?
After football.
Well, I'm sorry, buddy.
It's okay.
Oh, geez Louise. What's the weather like up there right now?
I mean, it was very, very cold a few days ago. Now today it was 40.
Nice.
And sunny. Nice. Fuck yeah.
It was very cold here. I don't think it was as cold as there, but we got to 16 below on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That was cold. It was
cold.
very cold. We canceled work, of course.
Oh, my God.
Us Portlanders ain't going to go out in negative 16. That's not going to happen.
Are you in Portland?
No, I'm in Colorado.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I'm in Denver.
Right, but the people there from Portland canceled work.
Yes. If it hit negative 16 in Portland, yeah.
Yeah.
People would lose their goddamn minds.
It'd be a state of emergency. The National
It would
Guard.
be a state of. I bet you 5 people would die in Portland if it. Well, probably more than that.
Yeah,
a big homeless issue would be a real problem.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sick of it.
Dude, today, this is just a side little note, but it was a really weird experience. So I'm living, I'm away from home. I'm living in this house that it's a bunch of coworkers live in this house. And we live in a cookie cutter neighborhood to where it's just every house is the same. You know what I mean? Down the street. And they're all like 2 stories. just it's a nice neighborhood, but it's a cookie cutter neighborhood. I hate it. I would never live in this, but it's like most suburbs where people don't talk. You know,
Yeah.
you're very closed off from your neighbor. You don't. Everyone has their blinds closed at all times, and
That's how my neighborhood is.
and it seems to me, from what I've gathered, is my neighbor next to me is they seem like they're all construction workers too, because it's a bunch of guys and like pickup trucks and stuff there. I don't think they own it, and a lot of Mexican dudes, from what I can gather. But today I'm sitting here. It's Saturday, just hanging out, and I'm getting ready for the show, and I'm like setting up my room, and like so I got the backdrop behind me, and I have to deflate my bed so that I can fit the backdrop behind me. And I'm
Okay.
So I'm doing this stuff, and I like go to the window and like look out the window, and then me and the neighbor's standing at his window, just staring directly into my window, and then we're only like 15 feet apart, and we just have this weird moment of just staring at each other, and I'm just like, what
Whoa.
the fuck is this dude do? Yeah, it was very weird.
That's very weird.
Yeah, it was a very awkward little encounter.
I'll go out to get the mail or take the trash out, and I'll stop and look around for a minute. And there's even like the house next to me is the corner, and then like across from them diagonally is a park for like children to play in. And I'll stop out there and look up and down my street, and it's just dead silent, and there's nobody outside. Everyone's blinds are closed, cars are in their driveways, they're home, and nobody's outside on the street. And I'm like, I feel like when I was little, there's like kids riding bikes and people walking up and down the street like constantly, or playing in their front yard or something, like playing with their dog.
Well, isn't it like -40?
I'm talking about during the summertime. And there's nobody outside. It's very weird.
We are definitely a society that all just hates each other now. That's the thing.
Just stay inside. I'm like, what are these
stay
people
inside.
doing? What's
They're
everybody
on
doing
the internet
inside?
doing a podcast. That's exactly what they're doing.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah. So some updates. We got a new dog. I haven't met the dog yet, but there's a new dog back home. Just waiting for me to meet him. I know. We're just fucking getting dogs, but it does.
Is it named after a Beatles song? Eleanor?
No,
Eleanor
we didn't
Rigby?
rename it. We were thinking about that, and I was like, well, I'll just leave the name because it came from a shelter.
Uh-huh.
You know, I would say we went down and got one of those free dogs, but dogs at shelters aren't free anymore. Now you pay a shitload of money for them. So that's Oregon for you. Yeah, so we got a boy. We don't really know what it is. It looks like it's going to be pretty big though, because it's 7 months old and it's already bigger than the golden.
Why did you get the dog?
Well, so Cheyenne just loves dogs.
Uh-huh.
She always wants dog. I could bring a dog home every week and she would never complain about it until we had 100 dogs. She would just be like, okay, sweet. She loves dogs. Always asking if we can get more dogs. But I've been having a real security problem. Like it bugs me. Like them always being home alone, the kids, you know, even though there's guns available, I still it makes me feel so much better. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. At first I was like, God damn it, not another dog. It's just more holes that are going to be dug in the backyard and shit going to get torn up or something, you know, problems are going to come. But then, I don't know. And then living in a bigger city, you know, that's where all the fucking weirdos are. Like a lot of weird shit's happened very close to my house.
Yeah.
And so it just makes me happy. And I feel like anyone doing weird shit that's like staking a house out, they see 2 dogs, they're going to be like, yeah, not doing it to that house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my thought process. It makes me sleep a little bit better at night.
Yeah.
So I gave the okay. I was just like, yep, go get a dog. And she was all happy, went and got a dog.
I mean, there's so many times when you're like, why do I have this fucking thing? Like when you have to take it to a kennel, when you're going on vacation, or when you're doing on all this shit that you think of, like peed in the house, or it's fucking got another vet bill. But then there's times when I'm like, you know, if someone barged through my door, they wouldn't be dealing with just me. They'd be dealing with something else too. And you have and there's times when I'm like watching TV and my dog's like on the other side of the house and he just goes like, ruff, and you're like, What the fuck?
Yeah. Gives you
And
a little warning, like something's
it's
going
always
on.
my entire life. It's been nothing, but it's still like if it was something, I got a huge heads up there. So,
Okay, two things.
Yeah.
I think dogs are really keen to shit. So
well, they are.
they are. I'll start with a lighter story, then go to a heavier story. When I was 13, we're sitting at my house, me, my mom, my stepdad. It's like 9 o'clock at night, dark outside, and we're sitting watching a movie. And my dad's deaf, like hearing aids. So when we watch movies, that shit's loud, very loud, so that he can hear it. And we have a skipper key. Growing up, we had a little skipper key. It's a little Belgian ship dog, real small dog, but they're very serious dogs. Like they point and stuff like that. They're I would say very. If you don't know what a skipper key is, they're a lot like a border collie, kind of serious. Like they want a job to do. They're not just like laying around all day. But we're sitting there in the living room, and that dog fucking perks up and starts, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. We're in the middle of we're 10 miles out of town in Sandpoint. On 5 acres. Everyone around us has either 20 or 5 acres. It's not like someone's walking down the street or something like that. And we're like, what the fuck is this dog, getting all hyphy about? And we always kept like one of those 2 million candle power lights, you know what I mean? Those giant flashlights. And like go in the back, we stop the movie, go over and like shine it out and at the far end of the property, I mean, 2 football fields away, is a deer standing on the fence line. And it's like, we like all look at the dog like, how the fuck did you notice that deer with the volume all the way up from 300 yards, 250 yards away? Did you just get keyed into a deer? And he wasn't like looking out the window. He's just like laying on the floor and just like perks up. It's like he smelled that deer or something like that. Like, I don't know. That was crazy to me. That one. So that was cool. Nothing ever really bad happened there. But then when I was real young, I'm going to say 7 years old, 8 years old, we lived in Lincoln City, Oregon, and full family, all my brothers and sisters minus 2, all live in this house. And my oldest brother had he had bought this purebred black lab, and he'd spent a bunch of time training it, and it was a duck hunting dog. And the dog was incredibly well behaved, knew all the commands, was super well behaved. And he was, I think, had to leave the state to go work or something. So he asked my mom if she would take the dog for a few months. So dog moves into the house for a little while. So one night at like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night, everyone's in bed. Dude, that dog, I have never in my life heard an animal make that kind of noise. Like that dog was not fucking around. And it wasn't a bark. It was just the lowest tone growl ever. And it was a female dog, real skinny. Dude, it sounded like a goddamn 6 foot tall dog. It was just the gnarliest evil sound ever. And it woke everyone in the house up. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? And the dog's in the front room, just, pitch black in the living room by itself, standing at the front door, just making a nasty, I'll never forget that sound. And it scared the shit out of it. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on out there? And then the next day, we all wake up, and my brother's car in the driveway had gotten broken into, and they'd stole all his CDs and stole a checkbook and all this stuff. So then we like file a police report and everything like that. And we're down at the police station, and they're like, oh, maybe we didn't file a report, or I think the police called us. And they're like, hey, we have all these CDs in this checkbook. Was something broken into? And then we're like, yeah, our car was broken into last night. And so we go down to the police station to get all the stuff and, I don't know, sign some shit. I don't really remember, real little. But I remember the cops there were like, that we tell them the whole story, what happened. And they were like, yeah, they were like, you were so lucky that dog was there. They're like, that dude was like a bad fucking dude, like not a good dude, and was like armed, and like, yeah, they're like, you were really lucky you had a dog at the front door. And that dog just, I don't know. So I'm a big proponent of dogs. And it really sucked. It was really sad. That dog was the best dog ever. We lived on Devil's Lake Road, and one side of the street was just houses, and then the other side was just all forest. And we used to go across the street all the time, and there was all these trails through there. I mean, all my brothers and sisters, we'd go play back there. And it probably wasn't that big, but as a kid, it was just this huge forest with all these trails you could go through. And I remember one day, and it couldn't have been that long after that incident had happened, is I'm in the backyard, and my brothers and sister in the front yard, and they go across the street and are like, hey, come on over, you know, whatever. I don't know what we were doing, playing some kind of tag game or something like that. And then I go across the road, and fucking, I'm across the road running. I'm like 30 feet into the woods. Can't see anything now. There's like bushes and shit blocking the view of our house and the road. And fucking a car goes by and fucking clips that dog. And the car was doing like 70 and fucking smacked that dog in the ass in, just completely shattered her hips. And the dog had to have wheels from then on out. But that was the next sound a dog made that I'll never fucking forget, was that dog getting hit by the car was brutal. And oh yeah, that was very sad. It was a very sad day. And like the dog had shit all over I guess that happens when dogs go through like crazy traumatic shit, is they'll just clear their bowels and stuff like that. It was very sad. It was very sad.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought like after this dog I might not get another one right away, but then I'm like, I feel much more vulnerable when I'm sleeping without one.
You get a cat, a guard cat.
Yeah. Well, and I have cameras too. You should get cameras. So nice.
I do want cameras.
Yeah.
I'm actually, after the show, I told someone I'd talk to you about cameras. Remind me after the show. I'm supposed to talk to you about cameras.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I know. Jesus Christ.
I watched a couple of movies and things.
Okay, movies and things.
I watched The Last Duel, which is on HBO Max. And it was a movie that I wanted to see in the theater, and I never got to, and it bombed in the theater, and the director blamed it on COVID. And it's directed by Ridley Scott, who I don't know too much about what he's done. I think he did Gladiator, and so he did The Last Duel with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, and as I was watching it, I was like, oh, I see why this bombed, and it wasn't because of COVID. I'm like, this is starting to lose me. But after the movie was over, I was like, that's actually a really interesting movie. And it's based on a true story about medieval time, and it's during medieval times. And the whole premise is that there's like Adam Driver's a knight, Matt Damon's a knight. Matt Damon goes off to fight in some battle. When he gets back, his wife claims that she was raped by another knight, Adam Driver. And you don't really know what happened. So the tradition back then was to have a duel then between the husband and the accused criminal. And in their opinion, God would tell the truth of what happened, if this woman was lying or not, by the results of the duel to the death. So if her husband was killed in the duel, then they'd say, and then they would kill her too, because they say you lied because the husband died in the duel. If the husband killed the accused criminal, then they'd be like, oh, he was a rapist. So it's based off a true story, and then in the end of the movie is the duel, and I was like, okay, that was actually pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie, especially that it was based on a true story. So it's worth a watch, and it's pretty fucking graphic, and so I thought it was pretty good.
If that is true.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of people probably wouldn't admit to their rapes. Like if your husband's kind of a bitch,
and just do the duel. That's
just
fucked
be
up.
like,
that is fucked up. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like your husband. You're like, I don't think you'd win this duel. I'm just not going to tell him I was raped. Like that doesn't sound. What's worse, getting raped or getting killed? Just like, okay.
The husband could just not do the duel and just go about their lives. But if you want like that revenge or whatever, or justice, you do the duel. It is interesting. People are fucking nuts. Then I watched a trilogy that I had heard about for a long time and I'd never watched, and it's by Linkletter or whatever that guy, Art Linkletter, Richard or something like that. And because he did that movie Boyhood that you've seen, where the whole thing about that movie is that they like filmed it over like 15 years while this boy grew up and kept coming back every few years to shoot scenes.
Yeah, the
And
movie sucked, but
it was kind of an
cool
interesting, like, beyond that concept of the movie, there wasn't much to the movie. The only cool aspect of it was that they did that, and you're like, okay, that's cool. And I really liked Ethan Hawke in that movie as like the kind of dirtbag dad. I thought he did a good job. But I mean, other than that, the movie's, other than the filming thing. So what happened with this trilogy is that Richard Linklater did that same thing pretty much, and it's called the Before Trilogy. So it's Before Sunrise is the first movie, and then Before Sunset, and then Before Midnight. And Before Sunrise was filmed in 95, Before Sunset 2003, Before Midnight 2013. So like they kept coming back to film after the characters had gotten old and then older, and then like they're like, oh, what have you been up to for the last 10 years? Acting like time has actually passed and whatnot. And the first movie, Before Sunrise, in 1995, actually has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the whole trilogy I thought was fucking amazing. I loved it, and
it's
all it was
by Richard Linklater.
Yeah, and Ethan Hawke plays the guy in it, but like, the Before Trilogy. So it's actually like really
I've
critically
never heard
acclaimed.
of this at all.
Yeah, and it's just about, in the first movie, a guy and a girl meet. The second movie, they bump into each other again, and it's all about like a relationship between a couple. The third movie, they're having kids, and so it's not like anything crazy. It's just like a romance thing, but I thought it was amazing. I loved it. It was really good.
Okay.
And then that's all I've kind of watched, really. But then I beat the Halo campaign for the new Halo game, and the Halo Infinite, and I thought it was really good. And you actually kind of get like two games in one, because you play through the story and beat the game, and then after that they unlock the whole map, and then it's like an open world, and you go around, and there's a bunch of alien bases still, so you go from like alien base to base, killing aliens and da-da-da. And when I beat the game and they opened the whole map up to just roam around, I was like, fuck this. And then I'm like, well, fuck, I'll just start walking around, see what happens. And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna clear this whole fucking ring of alien bases. And I'm happy to say I did that. And there's no more alien of those dirty blue-blooded fucking bastards on that fucking rock in space.
That ring is good to go.
I cleared the whole goddamn thing. It took a long time.
Soldier.
Yeah, it took a long time. So yeah.
Well, if it's a good campaign, I might have to play it. I
thought it was
really
great.
like the multiplayer all that much.
I love it.
All interest in it.
I still like it. I was pretty invested.
I suck so bad at it. It really bugs me. I was so good at Halo 2 that it's really hard for me not to be good at a game.
Well, I'll tell you this.
And I sucked.
I'll tell you this. I sucked at multiplayer too. After playing the campaign, going back to multiplayer, a lot better. I'm a lot better. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
You're using a lot of your tools and whatnot.
Well, and I'm sure, yeah. I mean, when I played Halo 2, before I even really got into multiplayer, I've probably beat Halo 2 like 6 times.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that helped with being good at the game.
I enjoyed it.
It's really hard for me not to be good at a game anymore. I get so frustrated. I don't want to play this. I don't like getting beat. I like beating everyone else. And I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, well, like when I try to play Call of Duty and you're just getting raped over and over again, I'm like, why this is not fun. Why am I doing this? Okay, shut it off. This is stupid. I don't want to just sit here and get dominated over and over again.
I know. It's not fun. It's not a fun deal.
No.
I downloaded Escape from Tarkov and played that a little bit, and I just couldn't do it. Have you ever heard of Escape from Tarkov?
No, I wouldn't play it.
Yeah, I don't play it, but
okay.
We'll talk about it for just a minute. Just a quick second.
Okay.
A little detour into Escape from Tarkov. Is I've heard about it, and people have been raving about this computer game. I don't know what the stats are, but I know it's a wildly popular computer game. A lot of people are into this game, Escape from Tarkov, and it had came out after the real big push of battle royale games. So you had PUBG, Fortnite, and then Call of Duty got into Warzone, and I think before Warzone, Tarkov had came out. I think it's been out for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe right around the same time as that. And everyone was saying like, oh, but the selling point when people talk about it is it's hyper realistic, is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, everything, like you can break your leg in the game. And now you're dealing for the rest of that game, you're dealing with a broken leg. And it's not like all the other games. There's like cheap, easy fixes to do it. And then like reloading a magazine is legit. It's as close to, they tried to, like, you literally have to sit and put bullets in the magazine. And if you like shoot and you can get your mags mixed up like in your backpack, and then you'll put a mag in and you won't have any idea how many bullets are in your mag, and nothing's telling you. So you just be like, and your gun will jam. So it's like they tried to make it like hyper realistic.
Yeah.
And so I've always thought the idea was like, well, that'd be pretty cool. And bullets do like incredible amount of damage. So they tried to make that as real as possible to where you get shot, you get shot. You know what I mean? Like if you jump off a 15-foot deal, you're going to break a leg, you know, you're going to hurt yourself. You can't just walk away from that. So I got it and then I played it for a little bit and I'm like, this is not at all what I thought this game was. It's World of Warcraft for shooter games. I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever played in my life.
Oh, that is dumb.
Your character is your character. So it's a constant character and you're building your character up, which I didn't realize that's how the game was played. And I hate. And then there's two different deals you go into. And I can't remember the names now, but you'll like use this a scavenger dude, and you'll drop into a game and your whole goal is just to go scavenge shit. So you just go find stuff and then take it back to your home and give it to your fucking main dude. And then you like set up a little bunker and put shit in there. And yeah, but it gets even worse, dude. It gets even, and the people you're talking to that are into it, it's like, this is really nerdy shit.
Yeah.
Because you're stealing like PCU things and generators and parts of computers and stuff. And like a big thing you can do, I mean, obviously way far into the game, is when you start building your bunker. Like the idea is that it makes you money, because everything costs money. If before you start a game, you have nothing. So you got to like go to this dude to buy a gun, and go to this, buy stuff, buy magazines, buy bullets, buy deal. If you keep dying, you'll lose all your money and you can't do anything. And so there's
it's like
this
Second Life. People that
dude,
want Second Life.
it's getting gayer. Just wait. So you're building your bunker thing, and with all these computer parts and stuff, you can inevitably you have to set up a generator and get gas for your generator. And so now you have electricity in your little bunker, and then you can set up a computer, and then you can mine Bitcoin in the game and make yourself money. And I was like, once I heard that, I was like, I'm done. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. I hated the game. I was like, because people, after playing with a bunch of people, they're more focused on looting than they are actually playing, like fighting people. It's like, this is World of Warcraft. Like, this is World of Warcraft is what you're doing. You're going on raids. It's even called a raid. Yeah. That's what starting a game is going on a raid. Just like in World of Warcraft, they all meet up, go on a raid. The whole point of the raid is to get stuff to build your character up. Yeah. And there's a whole trading system, just like WoW, to where you can get on this deal and post an item, and someone will buy that item with cash in the game, and then you like selling. I couldn't do it. I was like, this is the worst game I've ever played in my life.
Really any stupid game where it's like, come back to this place and drop off your supplies and all that, and it's like, no, dude, no. I need it much quicker than that. Like, I was watching Twitch, 6 or 7 years ago, watching someone play Minecraft, and they're like, had to wander across the whole entire map to go like mine for aluminum, and I'm like, fuck this, dude. Anything mining, like, no. I need to kill.
It's
quickly.
Funny that I hate that, because I don't know why I'm saying all this is dumb, because I'll also really enjoy like Skyrim, Fallout. I like those games, and I also really like Grand Theft Auto. And honestly, there's a lot of similarities there between Grand Theft Auto. Is you'll have a hideout.
Yeah. But I don't do that in Grand Theft Auto. People have like their apartment that they come back to or whatever. I just roam around. I don't go. I
like the story mode, but you're still like, you get this idea of building a character. You know what I mean? And
That's true.
Progressing a character.
I'll give one pass to GTA, but the rest of them...
I cannot wait for another GTA to come out. And I really don't like this idea games are doing to where... I mean, I get
keep
it.
building upon one game.
Yeah, it's like, dude, just stop building the game. And GTA seems to just keep building the game. Like, let's start another game. I want a new campaign. And maybe there's something I'm totally missing out on with the GTA Online. Maybe I'm totally missing out on a lot of fun side quests.
No, you're not. You're not.
Okay.
Yeah, because say you liked the original GTA, not the original, but the first time it comes out, and then you're not subscribing to these expansion packs, and then like the 6-1 happens, and you're like, well, I can't go back now. I fucking haven't done the last 4 expansions of the game they did, so I can't go back now. So you just lose people who jump off the train. I like the main story mode, but I'm not fucking building up my character to become some drug lord or something for the next 8 years of my life. It's not happening.
Yeah. So there's that. Did I sidetrack you off your movie thing? Was there more to that movie bit?
No.
I watched a little side deal, but back into the movie thing is my boss. We're sitting here and he's like, "Hey, check this out." Who directed Lord of the Rings? What's that guy's name? Peter Jackson. Have you ever seen his first movie? So he showed me his first movie the other day. It's called
Is this the guy that's never seen a fucking movie in his life?
What?
You said no, the guy you live with.
No, he showed me the first Peter Jackson movie.
Like 2 podcasts ago, you said the guy's never seen a movie, never seen Jurassic Park.
Oh, different guy. Okay. Different guy.
Okay.
2 separate people. No, this guy's seen plenty of movies. Oh God, what is the name of the movie?
I've heard of it.
He's New Zealand. It's all in New Zealand because he's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
And it's like I only watched about the first 10 minutes of it, and it is bananas weird. Like the fact that he became a famous director after that movie is insane.
Bad taste?
Because yes, that's it. Yes, bad taste.
Well, I heard it's really funky, but I heard it was also like extremely low budget, and he did really well.
Very low budget, and it seems like it's like a cult movie.
Yeah,
you know, like it has a Monty Python kind of feel to it.
Yeah,
a little bit, but it is very weird. I was like, this is bananas to watch.
Well, and Jackass Forever came out into theaters yesterday. And then I saw a thing being like, the reviews are in for Jackass Forever, and I'm like, oh my god, great, everybody gets to shit on it. So I clicked on that and reading through them, and it was getting like a lot of love, and everybody saying that it was really good. And I was like, oh, sweet.
I've always liked the Jackass movies. They're great.
Yeah.
Just I mean, nothing will compare to how big that first Jackass was. Just such an influential movie. It was just.
But people saying there was too many nut shots of people getting hit in the nuts.
That's them. I mean, that's.
So that was some. I
saw Jackass 2 in theaters. That was pretty bananas to watch. I think it was like 17.
Yeah.
And that was just. What is that? That's when they do this drink the semen thing. They took it to a whole nother level on Jackass 2. That was just disgusting.
Is that the porta potty that goes shooting up and down?
I don't remember that. I just remember the horse semen. Definitely remember the horse semen. I remember the whole theater was just, oh, what the fuck? Yeah. It was a really fun. Seeing Jackass in a theater was fun because it was very interactive. I imagine.
Well, I might go to it. I might go to it next weekend, but I'm going to be the only one in the theater, so who knows?
Why would you say that? Just because no one's going to theaters?
Well, in here, whenever if you don't go opening weekend and you go like the second or third week here, there's not going to be anybody in the theater. So, but that's fine.
I'm going to be really bummed when that's a pastime, like a dead thing, to where you can't go to a movie theater.
It's going to happen.
Bummed. It is going to happen.
And when you can't go to an arcade, that's probably going to happen, or it's already happened.
Suck.
I love an arcade. So much fun.
Yeah.
Lent starts March 2nd.
Oh my God. Are you ready?
I'm not ready. It's giving me. I'm literally tossing and turning at night because I'm trying. I don't remember what I gave up last year. I think it was gambling. I think the year before was Facebook, and I think this year again for Lent I'm going to give up gambling, and that's giving me huge anxiety. But I can't think of anything else that I'd want to give up. If I give up gambling, I'm going to save money, but it's gonna. Brad's gambling a lot these days, so it's a huge thing to give up, but I think I should do it, and it's not going to be easy. And Lent is like 40 days.
Hell yeah, that's good. Dude, here in Colorado, it's the first.
You should give up drinking.
The highest scratch off. The most money for a scratch off I've ever seen is in Colorado. Someone said the other day, I've only gone to one store. I don't really do anything here. I haven't even like left the house really. I just go to work and come back to the house and go to work and come back to the house.
That's what I do.
But at the grocery store, they have $50 scratchers in the little machine.
Jesus.
But someone was saying at the gas station, they're like, "Oh, you can get $75 scratchers in Colorado." Wow. Isn't that insane? That's $75. In Oregon, it's 20 is the peak for.
I feel like in Idaho it's 22.
Yeah, I feel like most places it's 20. When I saw the 50, I'm like, $50. So I've done it every weekend. I've bought a $50 ticket to when I'm at the grocery store. I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll buy a $50 one. So I've been here 2 months. I haven't won a single one. That's
Jesus Christ.
What is that? $400 I've spent on scratches and haven't won $1 off of them.
Could
so
be
I think
the next
that's
one.
done.
The next one's gonna hit.
I think I'm done with that one.
No, the next one's gonna hit. God damn it.
No, I can't be spending $50 ago.
I think on a $10 one in Idaho, I think I won $100. That's my most on a scratch off. Scratch offs are stupid though.
I swear scratches are the worst odds you can possibly do in gambling. I was talking, one of my buddies here was telling me that he knew a dude who just did it. He wasn't even invested in it. He just randomly get a scratch ticket and it would sit on his counter for weeks and then he'd scratch it. Wow. And so he got one and it was like a $20 winner. He's like, okay, sweet. So he goes to the store, switches the deal out, and then has another one sit on his counter for weeks and scratches it and wins $100,000. But while this happened, he was going through a divorce. So he just held on and he didn't tell anybody about it. He called his sister, I guess, and was like, and then told my buddy about it because they were like high school buddies from 20, 30 years ago. And then so just holds on, knows he won 100,000, but won't cash it. Yeah. Because he's like, well, I bet you ain't getting my money.
Yeah, I could do that.
And then he just waits and then cashes it. And then he said, what's funny is 10 years later, he got back with his ex-wife and got married again.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't understand that. And that led into a conversation. I was talking to him and he's like, dude, it happens all the time. People get remarried to who they got divorced with. I was like, what? Is that just a red flag right there? Why would you do that?
I have no idea, dude. We should just start a scratch off. Can you just start a scratch off company? Because can't you be like, for every 100,000 we make, we're gonna give out 60 grand of prize of 60 grand of prizes? No, it's the state.
It's a state lottery.
That's fucking a scam, is what it is.
No, what's a scam? I know I've said it on this podcast before, but I can't believe that it's legal that in Oregon they put fucking slot machines in bars. It's like that is so crazy to me. Almost every bar in Oregon has slot machines in it. Like a whole room usually dedicated to so you just get all drunk. For people with gambling problems, that's a real problem. Like you go get all hammered and you're like, oh, and then wake up the next morning like, fuck. Spent $500 last night.
If you're losing money on a slot machine at a bar, you deserve to lose the money.
Yeah, I think it's just dangerous. It's not a good place to put slot machines.
It's a great place to put slot machines for the owners of the slot machines.
Buffalo Wild Wings sucks. I hate that place.
Why? I love it.
I don't, and I don't like how popular it is.
It's great.
It's not great.
There's overpriced. TVs everywhere.
Yeah, I think that they've just capitalized on people that like football.
Well, yeah, it's a place to go and watch sports.
I don't like how popular it is. It's a shitty restaurant. I'm not into Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, it's a
Going
chain.
on record right now that I hate it.
A chain is going to be shittier than a local place. Kind of. Oh, that in general. Like
I'm trying to think of a chain that I like.
Well, like your local.
I can't think of any.
Your local Mexican restaurant's going to be better than fucking Del Taco. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your local Italian restaurant's going to be better than Olive Garden. And Buffalo Wild Wings, I like it there. I like the wings. I like the atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. That's why I said it. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, how dare you? Well, okay, I got this kind of bigger thing here. We are broke and we need money. And I have an idea of how to make a bunch of it.
Okay.
And this is going to require a lot from us. And this is pretty complex and big. This is going to pretty much change the world. What we're going to do. And it's a kind of complex yet simple plan. And we're going to keep it between the two of us and don't tell anybody about it.
Okay, good. Shut your blinds.
Shh. And I mean, but this is pretty extreme. And it's also very not PC. So I am apologizing beforehand because it has to do with race a lot. And also, you know, some of the biggest people in the world. Okay, but this is going to be huge. We're going to film a documentary about it and sell the documentary. And that's where the payday is going to come in of the process. There was a band, there was a musical group a long time ago called the Jackson 5. Have you heard of them?
No.
Well, one of their members was named Michael Jackson, and he became a solo
like the
artist.
Basketball player?
No, that's Michael Jordan.
Okay.
But Michael Jackson became a huge music artist.
Bigger than Taylor Swift.
Yeah, fucking way bigger than Taylor Swift. Okay. Bigger than Kanye. Bigger than anybody.
Whoa. Slow your fucking roll.
Only probably as big as the Beatles. So he became a huge music star. And this is the official story on record, this is the accepted story that we're going to crack wide the fuck open. And the official story is that he, as an adult man, had children. Do you know the names of his children?
Dweezil and Moon Unit.
No. He had 3 children, Paris, Prince, and Blanket, right?
Okay.
A daughter and 2 sons. He had these children with a woman named Debbie Rowe, who was born in Spokane, Washington. And I'll just give you this, right? I'll just give you this. So, and that is a family photo of them. Just a happy, white family. His biological children, which means from his seed came these children. Now, Paris is someone who I have a personal issue with, and I follow her on Instagram, and I have for years, and it's sort of like a hate follow. And I've never even heard anybody say hate follow before, and I've been trying to coin that term. It's
That
like
is a really good term.
Yeah,
that has
like
to be a term. Hate follow someone.
Well, because I think people say like hate watch, like I just hate watch reality TV, and it's like no, you don't. You actually like it. But I like hate follow her. She says Ringo's her favorite Beatle, and then right off the bat, me and her are just not on the same page after that shit. But she's very like, oh, it's a full moon tonight. Take your crystals outside to charge them in the moonlight and all that kind of shit. She's all twisted and fucked up. Now, do you know what she looks like?
No.
I'll just give you this. So there's that. Do you see what the issue is looking at that picture? What's the issue here?
You stumped me. I don't know. I mean, she's obviously
I'm
black.
sorry. Michael Jackson is a black man. So, like, is this just a thing we're going to roll with forever, that's his biological daughter? She looks like fucking Cameron Diaz or something. So there's that whole thing. So
she's really hot.
Oh, God. You would probably love her. So,
I might have a new celebrity crush.
You might. Like, let's go to the desert and do mushrooms and fucking play guitar and charge your crystals and da-da-da-da-da and get another tattoo. But, so, my issue with a woman named Debbie Rowe from Spokane, Washington. Anyway, my issue is that I think that that's not his biological daughter. Because...
How dare you?
Look, I'm sorry, it's not. We can't just say...
Does she get to drop the N-word?
I don't know. It depends on who you ask. If you ask me, I say no, because I think she's white as me and as you. So, because Michael Jackson did not lay in a bed with a woman and have sex with her and make a baby. That didn't happen. I'm willing to bet on that. I'm willing to bet at least a month of my life on this documentary we're going to shoot on that, because that didn't happen. Oh, maybe it was in vitro fertilization or whatever it's called. It's like, no, it's not. Look at the picture, right? So I say me and you buy a van, like a fucking white blacked out van or whatever, and we head down to Los Angeles and we do our own paternity test. So what we're going to do, and we're going to start filming, like when we go to buy the van, when we collect supplies, we're going to start filming this whole documentary through the whole process when nobody knows what we're doing. And we're going to get her DNA and we're going to get his DNA and we're going to match them up and be like, boom.
So
now I see the problem. The problem you're thinking of.
Did you Reddit this? This has to be a thing.
Nobody else knows about this. I see the problem you're thinking is, how do we get his DNA? I get that could be a huge issue in this case, in this documentary, but we're going to have to figure that one out. Getting hers is one thing. I'm not saying we do it by any criminal against the rules thing. We get it in a legal sort of way.
Well, no, we don't have to get his. I mean, he has, 4 brothers and sisters?
Well, that's what I was thinking, too. Could we get DNA from them, and does that still match up? I don't know. Does it?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, we're going...
A genealogist? Is that what that would be?
Yeah, we're going to have to get a genealogist. We're going to need a cameraman. We're going to need a van. And we are... If it is in fact where you could get DNA from a brother or sister, like a Janet Jackson, which would actually probably be the hardest one. You'd probably pick one of the other ones.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one that's not
easier,
doing so good right now.
Yeah, more easily accessible. If we could do that and then match it up with hers, that'd be easy. If we have to have his, that's gonna be really hard. But I feel like somehow we can still get it. I don't know how, but there's gonna be a way. And then we sell this documentary to Netflix, HBO Go, fucking Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus, whatever, Hulu, whoever will take it. I say we just go with the highest bidder and say, like, we want like $400,000 a piece or $500,000 a piece and blow this whole fucking story wide the fuck open.
Thinking
that
about
is not
the
a...
whole,
Yeah,
it's a really good idea. I love it.
Thank you.
Thinking about... I don't know. It's like our generation grew up with Michael Jackson. We knew who he was. He was part of the deal. And everyone's like, yeah, he's crazy, blah, blah, blah. But if you really step back from the whole situation... And like, if you didn't know any of that story, and then you were like telling someone the story of Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson and that, they'd be like, you made all that shit up, you crazy lunatic.
That's
like,
true.
That is insane talk. And then it's funny to compare that to today. We're like, oh, fucking everyone's just a goddamn transgender, all the crazy fucking people. It's like, well, back in the 80s, we had some crazy shit going on too. Like that, that dude's crazier than any woke ass TikToker on TikTok talking about their fucking their pronouns.
Yeah, just wandering around Neverland. Ranch.
I don't know how I've never thought about this. And in all seriousness, did you not like Reddit this? I mean, this has to be a thing, and I don't know why I've never even thought about this.
No, I just saw.
Why aren't his kids black? So they're obvious. Yeah, she has 0 black in her.
It's a thing where
what's weird is she actually kind of looks like Michael Jackson. Like
no, she doesn't.
After all the plastic surgery, not like what he actually looks like. What his not what his genes dictate. What his plastic surgeon dictated his face look like.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
She has the same nose. It'd be funny if she said that. She's like, "Don't you see the resemblance? Look at my nose."
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay.
And well, it happens that like, you know, a black couple can have a baby that looks white, or kind of vice versa, or that stuff happens. That, in my opinion, is, and I'm whispering because I feel like this is, you know, not something you should be just talking about on the street, but like, that is too far off. That's just too far off, in my opinion. And
I knew nothing about this, and you're opening my mind to new ideas.
oh, I know. Wait till we get a van and we're fucking headed down there at top speed and we're fucking crack this fucking thing wide the fuck open. We need caffeine and drugs.
Yes.
And we're going to film the whole thing. We need a cameraman. We're going to need a third person to be a cameraman. We might need to contact a genealogist. And somehow we're going to have to get access to her and to members of the Jackson family.
Definitely.
Possibly some like old collectibles from him. I'm hoping for some like jackets or something. We can find some hair, or I don't know, and
Yeah,
do
like a
this
fedora or something like that we could buy. So we need like 10,000 for that fedora.
Okay, that's fine. We got that, and just
Yeah.
fucking do that. We'll go into debt for this. You know what I'm saying? If we have to, because when we pay, when it's the payoff time, when we're sitting down with Netflix and we smack this documentary down on the table, they're gonna be fucking writing checks like pew pew pew, and it's just gonna be raining money. Are we gonna ruin this young girl's life? I don't know. Wouldn't you want the truth, or do you just want to be walking around in a world where you think Michael Jackson's your dad? I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. The truth will set you free. That's what I have to say to her when we get backlash about this.
You can't even put yourself in her perspective. Like, what is her life like? Like, it's just insane.
Well, she's had a lot of like overdoses and attempted suicides and in and out of stuff, and it's all fucking crazy. I'm sure, which makes sense. If you're Michael Jackson's kid, you're not going to be just standing around at gas stations talking about $75 scratch offs. You're going to be like fucked up, you know.
Yeah.
Especially for her little brother who's named Blanket. Now you're just walking around as Blanket Jackson. And I don't know. It's crazy, crazy world.
This is a crazy world.
But that's a good plan. And I think it's too big to fail, and it's going to work out perfectly. We're probably going to be on, like, you know, Jimmy Kimmel, fucking Jimmy Fallon, all the Jimmys, Fox News, Tucker Carlson, CNN. Fucking got to do the whole rounds, be on Joe Rogan's podcast, be on fucking everything. Going through Sirius XM. People are going to be like, how'd you guys do it? You got to watch the documentary, dude. That's how we did it.
I love it. I love it. This is great. I love the great idea, Brad. That's the kind of man we need around here, an ideas man. And you're bringing it to the table. You're bringing it to the table.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. Yeah. I guess. Well, you're not gonna get anything from this. I mean, you've been talking about Bitcoin and how that's, you know, the future, and you're stocking up on Bitcoin, and you get, you know, you're planning for the future there. Well, you done fucked up. You done fucked up. Okay. Because there's a new currency that's about to take over. And you've done fucked up. You're not invited. You're not invited to the group.
I want
Guess
to
who
be,
isn't?
though.
Well, you can't. It's done, son. You've already signed your name on the do not enter list. And fucking, I'm over here. Fucking, I'm about to be rich, son. Rich. Super rich. You want to know? Do you want to know? Close the blinds. Close the blinds. This is the next moneymaker. And I've spent the last 2 months stocking up. I had to buy like 3 freezers to do this. Okay. I am
some like human hearts or something.
Well, you may, you know, some people are into, you know, harvesting Bitcoin. Yeah, that's the past. Okay. I am the future. And I'm on the forefront, and I am a crypto mining machine myself. Okay. And I'm stocking up. When this shit hits, and it's already started to hit, it's fucking to the moon, you know, right now. And I'll be on top. You'll be looking at me like, fuck, why didn't I think of that? And I'll be like, oh, I guess a football game wasn't that goddamn fucking big of a deal now that I'm richer than shit.
What could this possibly be?
Unvaxxed sperm, son. Unvaxxed sperm. I'm saving that shit up.
Is there a market for that?
Dude, in 20 years, there's gonna be so many bald, pointy nosed people running around, and you'll all be like, you'll all be sitting there in your chairs with like mesothelioma commercials all over the place, and just be like, if you have your, Moderna will have bankrupt, 10 years from now, Moderna's gonna be completely bankrupt. Pfizer, done. All of those done. And fucking, you just keep seeing bald, pointy nosed people walking down the street, and you'll be like, fuck.
And then if there's someone that looks normal, they'll all be like,
Yeah,
tearing at him.
So I've been stocking up, son. I've been stocking up freezers.
Interesting.
Now I got to get backup generators to make sure when the power grid goes off that my babies are safe.
Your power bill has already gone through the roof.
Through the roof. But that's just that's the cost of mining. It's the future, okay?
That's true.
You guys just don't get it. You don't get it.
Fuck. I can't even do that now.
I know. You're done. You're done, son.
Damn it.
I am the future.
I forget I'm vaxxed. Maybe there's like a market for sperm that didn't get the booster. And I could do that.
Yeah, like tier 3 unvaxxed sperm. Yeah.
Like $6 a pop.
Yep.
I don't know.
Sorry, you done fucked up.
That's fucked
I've been
up.
saying it.
You're going to be a rich man in 20 years.
So Cheyenne sent me this, that she's like, babe, unvaxxed sperm is going for this crazy number. And then, so right before the show, I was like looking it up. I couldn't really find anything, but it is a thing. It is definitely a thing online to where people are selling unvaxxed sperm, and people are buying that shit up.
Gross.
I couldn't find the numbers she was saying. She was throwing a really big number out there for a vial of unvaxxed sperm. And she's like, quit your job, babe. We got this in the bag. It's like, okay.
Gross.
Yeah. So, when I'm on a yacht hanging out with Bezos, fucking, you're going to be there, and you're going to be up in North Dakota. Why'd Bitcoin crash?
Why'd I get vaxxed? All the sperm I have is worthless.
It's worthless. Ah!
Fuck. I hope that doesn't happen.
I know. So?
I wrote something down I didn't really want to talk about, but we could try.
Okay.
I don't think we've talked about it before, and the problem that my hesitation is with the fact that I don't think I have a opinion properly formed, like a good argument. I think maybe 10, 15 years ago, I would have had a great fucking argument. But when you were growing up and you were a teenager, I feel like you heard a lot of times the term the friend zone. And people would throw this term around left and right. In the last few years of my life, I feel like I haven't heard that much. It's like it's not a thing anymore. But I remember a few years ago, seeing women online complaining about this term, the friend zone, and their argument. Yes, women saying that.
Okay.
Saying that it's just a term that a guy would complain about, saying I'm in the friend zone, and women saying like just because you're nice to me, I don't owe you sex. And that was their sort of rebuttal against the whole term being thrown around and labels being put on relationships all over the world. And when I saw them have their rebuttal saying, like, I don't owe you sex just because you're nice to me as a friend, my sort of thinking about that, because the friend zone is sort of, back in the day, described as, like, you would become friends with a girl and you sort of, nobody knew what they were doing, and then you are attracted to her sexually and romantically, and then she just considers you as a friend, and then guys would say, oh, now I'm in the friend zone. It's kind of a stupid, immature thing. However, I don't know. My rebuttal, though, towards them saying that, I don't owe you sex just because you're nice to me, and when I've heard them say that a few years ago, I was like, my whole thing with the friend zone was that, and the problem with this right now is because I feel like none of this applies to my life anymore for some reason. Of course, since I wrote this down in my phone as a show topic, I have then been hearing the term places. And my thing was that, like, when you're there and you're friends with a girl you're interested in, and one person expresses that, hey, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in more with you, and the other person is like, no, I just want to be friends, and then you just be friends, it's fucked up for the person, it's fucked up on the person that knows you want more and then says like, I just want you as a friend. See, that's the problem. It's not very well articulated. My whole idea about this.
I'm not understanding exactly what you're saying. I understand the topic. I mean, I have opinions on this, but I'm trying. Yeah,
I'm sure you do.
Definitely didn't articulate that. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying. Are you saying you disagree with? I don't.
At a time in my life, I would have used the term, I like her a lot, but I'm in the friend zone. I would have said that about an individual. And it's really a stupid thing to say. But my whole thing was I didn't say, I'm not thinking like the girls say, oh, I don't owe you sex just because we're friends or something. I wasn't thinking like that. I was like, once I expressed to you how I felt and you sort of just said, no, I'm not, I just want to be friends, that it's fucked up for that person to then continue being friends with the person that's interested in them, because you're just making it hard on them and making it hell on them. I think when you're in that situation, a guy and a girl, or a guy and a guy, or a girl and a girl, I don't know if friend zones happen in the gay community, but I'm sure they do. But like, when someone expresses that they have more feelings, that friendship and relationship is now done and over. It needs to be executed. Once that one person, whether it's the girl, whether it's the guy, says, you know, I like you more or whatever, I want to be more, and the other person says no, boom, everything's done. Because you can't just go on for years after that then being friends.
Yeah, I mean, I hear
at this
what
point
you're
in my
saying.
life, as a 30-year-old, I don't think this even applies to me. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't happen. But for some reason I wrote it down. I
have all kinds of opinions on this.
Do you agree that back in the day when you were younger, people said that more often than you ever would hear today?
Yeah. And I have some people in mind right now at my age, if not older, that are in this loop of talking about this and complaining about it.
Really?
And
because then as you get older, people then say, well, you need to make your intentions more clear at the beginning. And it's just, I feel like it's just people that don't know how to navigate a relationship get stuck in this thing and then bitch about it. Which would have been me.
That's the thing is no one that's just well-rounded is ever going to say this. Because even if they feel it, they're just, I mean, I would say it even to date, but it wouldn't be that I have, it wouldn't be that I have like, that it's like keeping me up at night, that it's like like a real problem. I would say it just in conversation, just, oh yeah, you know, she friend zoned me, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it wouldn't be like, I'd be like mad about it or, you know, whatever. You just understand it. Okay. Recently, I was just talking to a younger person, very young, and
12 years
he
old.
Was not that young, but in his early 20s, and he was expressing relationship stuff to me.
Nice.
And he was very upset. Well, and he wasn't like confiding in me at all. He just brought it up because he was upset, and he didn't ask for advice, but like I didn't really say anything, and then my response to him was just, you know, I could say all kinds of stuff to you. You know, I've been there, you know, like I've been there, you know, blah, 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 blah. I could tell you what I think you should do or what you're going through right now. But I'm like, you won't listen to me. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying like, it's just it is impossible for someone your age to actually internalize what I'm saying, because I remember being your age and I remember how I felt, and it doesn't. Yeah. And it's like, you know how much good advice I've gotten through my life?
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter how many times you hear something. You need to just experience it for yourself and learn from that. The only way for me, the only way I learn something is by doing it. You have to experience it to actually really learn the lesson. You know, especially with relationships. It's just, and everything at your early 20s feels like such a big deal, and it's just this huge ordeal, and you have so much emotion, and it's like trying to tell a 21-year-old person, like, look, in 10 years from now,
Yeah.
all these emotions you're feeling, you will not feel.
Yeah.
You won't regret anything you did. Everything you're saying right now is pointless. It is. You will not feel that way. 100% you will not feel that way about the person, about yourself, about anything. And then so like being and then so that's just like one thing. But then more along the lines of being friend zoned with people is I've felt that before. There's one girl in particular that I was really into her, and I was always into her. And but the fact that I went into the I was being a beta. Like, and I know that about, like, that's how I approached it. And I was like, well, if I just become friends with her and, you know, blah, 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 and then I can just weasel. You're to blame for the man in that situation is the person weaseling. You're doing all the weird shit. And like, so never be mad at a female for you did the weaseling from the get-go. From day one, you knew you were attracted and you never specified that. And it's like, it's not her fault at all. And it's not even, just get over it. Like, get over that. And if you're a man and that keeps happening over and over and over again, it's like, it's not that all women are out to get you. That's not what's happening right now. And the fact that you don't see that something's happened over and over and over again in your life, and you're like, fucking all females are just fucking bitches, and you know, just like blah 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 blah. It's like, no, maybe you should realize that females aren't attracted to beta males. Like, it's just not what they're into. It's a primal thing, and they want a provider. They want a strong part. They want to protect. Like, it's just ingrained in them. They all watch Disney movies growing up. Look at the Disney movie character as a male. Like, look at what he stands for. It's like they all grew up with this wiring in their head of like, that's who they want. They don't want the fucking weird dude in the back. You know, take Little Mermaid. No one's going for Flounder. You know what I mean? That wasn't her attraction. And you know what I mean? Wants Eric. Wants fucking you know, this bigger dude, or any of the princess movies. I get really irritated listening to that.
While this dynamic is probably way more common, as in like the guy doing the weaseling, I'm sure it happens the other way around too. I'm sure there's like girls who are like, he has me in the friend zone, but that's probably way not as common. Very, very not as common. Right. Because guys will just be like, okay, it's sex. They'll just do it.
And I will say, and then from personal experience, I had a good friend who I was into, said something, and she just, nope. And then we were great friends, and I just let it go. And it took a while. It took a little, 6-month period of time for me to just give up. Then we became best friends, like super best friends. And then it was a super cool relationship because she would help me with girls and I would help her with dudes. You know what I mean? Like, go to a bar and she'd be like, I like this dude. So I'd be like, say less. You know what I mean? And I'd go talk to this dude and be like, hey, come over to our table and blah, blah, blah. And she'd do the same for me. Interesting. I'd be like, hey, that girl's hot. And she'd be like, say less. And then she'd go start talking to this girl and bring her over and blah, 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 blah. But then years later, this person, this in particular thing I'm talking about, then she confesses her undying love for me. And I'm like, what? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Are we in topsy-turvy world? But it's like a perfect case in point of just, as soon as I gave up and stopped trying and just, fuck it, I don't even care. It was like, that's when she was attracted to me then. Yeah. And I'm a firm, I know, and I've talked to multiple guys that just feel different. They're like, that's not how it works. You can have this mutual love. It's like, yeah, whatever. But a woman still, across the board, I think to have a real successful, solid relationship, the man needs to be this independent. You need to be attractive. You need to be,
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
I hate when I listen to dudes with that sentiment. I'm just like, dude, don't you see the problem? Like, what's happening here is it's all on you. everything that you're complaining about and bitching about, it's all your fault. You were doing this to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know.
And it's like all those guys, like they won't even approach girls in just a very direct manner. Like at a bar, you watch that person like, oh, you like that girl? Go say so. Oh, no. And it's like, okay. And then they'll just weasel, through a friend group and then, be really indirect and then just be like, well, why doesn't she like me? And it's like, why didn't you go up to her and just ask her right off the get-go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go grow a pair of balls, be confident, get shot down? You get shot down. It's a learning. That's great. Getting shot down is great. It's great. It's great to get shot down.
Yeah, it is. It's like a weight almost lifted off of you, in my opinion. Just fucking get it over with. I don't know. I just felt like I'd heard the term a lot when I was young from guys bitching about it, and probably myself. And then years later, heard women say, like, fuck your friend zone complaints. I don't owe you sex. And then my thought was like, that's not what it's about. I don't know. I expressed something to you. You said you just wanted to be friends. And then this relationship continued that was really painful for one person and really, like, awesome for the other one who just has this friend now. And I don't know. I feel like it needs to be cut once one person expresses that. But in your experience,
I've also had the opposite.
I figured you'd had a bunch of weird issues with this. Not issues, but experiences.
Yeah. And there was one girl in particular that I was very into after I expressed it. And the worst is that she expressed no, but then we'd get drunk and then we'd hook up. And then the next day was always like, and she's did that a few times, but a great lesson. And just like, I can't complain. She said she never wanted to date. I should be stoked now that I got to sleep with her. You know what I mean? Like I fucking, bam, we're not going to spend the rest of our lives together, but whatever,
That's weird. It's a weird one.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll wrap her up.
Yeah. I don't know. Just something I was thinking about today. And then we'll wrap it up. I just wanted to say that the show True Detective, which I know you haven't seen,
I've never heard of it.
Rewatched. I've probably seen the first season 3 times. I rewatched it again this past weekend for the 4th time. 8 episodes. It's a single. Each season's completely different, different cast of characters, different story. The first season is a masterpiece, in my opinion. When I watch it, it fucks me up majorly because I watched it. It's 8 episodes that are an hour long. I watched it all on Saturday, all in one sitting. And by the time I get to episode 3, 4, 5, I say I have to start drinking. And this is coming from me, someone who has maybe 2 drinks a month, maybe on a drinking month. And I then have to start drinking for the rest of the season of True Detective. I then have to get a gun and put a gun next to me and fucking power through the season of television. And it is so amazingly good and fucking incredible. And it pushes you as a human being past limits that you didn't even know you had. It's just incredible because it's so fucked up and so good. And it's Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson. Matthew McConaughey's character, Rustin Cole, if you really follow along with everything he's expressing in that season of television and his whole philosophy of pessimism and his whole existential crisis dealing with time and dealing with death and dealing with life and stuff like that, it's really deep. And it's just a case of 2 detectives trying to find some missing kids, trying to figure out a whole child sex ring that's going on in Louisiana. But on top of that, it's these huge philosophical lessons about time and space and life and death and human condition and stuff like that. And it's amazing. And I love it. And it gets me fucked up in the head thinking about time and stuff and how he's saying like time is a flat circle. Everything that's going to happen is happening right now and is happening again and is happening all at the same time. And we just like perceive time in one direction, yet it's all just like a flat thing everything's happening all at the same time. And it's just like really crazy and fucked up. And when I think about that more and more, it actually makes me feel very much at peace. And when I was flying on a plane to California, I started thinking about this, trying to calm myself down on the plane, which actually ended up freaking myself out and thinking, like, if we die on this plane crash, it's okay because, like, everyone that I feel like I'm going to miss, they've already died as well or whatever, and all this stuff that I'm thinking about. And, like, in the afterlife, like, they'll already be there because everything that's going to happen has already happened. And I don't know, and I'm just trying to figure it out on my own. But, like, that first season of True Detective, like, deals with that kind of, and it's like, if you want a season of television, 8 episodes that will blow your mind and get you fucking engaged hardcore in it, it's, like, the best. But, I don't know, it's really good.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
Rock and roll. They came out with season 2 of Royal Gemstones. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Oh,
Righteous
yeah.
Righteous
Gemstones. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty happy about that.
Nice.
What's True Detective on?
HBO.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fucking so good.
Episode 78 in the bookies.
Super Bowl weekend. Did you fly recently?
Yeah.
Did you fly first class like an asshole?
I did.
Oh my God.
Did Fox tell you about that?
No, you said you're like, next time I do it, I'm booking that fucking first class ticket.
Oh, I don't remember anything I ever say. But yes, I did. And I'm debating.
Oh my God.
Okay, the first flight back home, I sat in the sardine can pig trough in the back. And
with the rest of us.
Yes, and it made me very upset. and they would only give me one beer, which made me so mad. I was like, "Can I buy more?" And they're like, "No, you only get one." So mad. And it was so uncomfortable. I hated it. And it's not that long of a fight, but 3 hours. 3 hours is long enough to get irritated.
What do you do for 3 hours?
Well, I would like to drink, but fucking...
You just sit there?
No, I download a bunch of stuff on my... I have Netflix and all that stuff on my phone, so I just download a bunch of episodes and do a lot of... I download a lot of South Park, Seinfeld, and just TV shows, and then I'll just sit there and watch a lot of Seinfeld. Seinfeld's been my go-to for the last few months.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that and then came back and I was miserable. On the flight back, I'd upgraded my seat to premium, which only cost $30 more. And you sit at the very front of the economy classes, and that was nice. A lot of leg room. Lots, I could stretch my feet all the way out. You're still in the pig trough watching the people up front, like, oh man, they got it made in the shade up there. And then I did first class on the next round. So the last time I flew, did that there and back. And the one to Portland was great. They gave me 4 beers, fucking gave me a meal, very comfortable seat. It was very nice. First time doing first class. It was very nice. The whole time I was like, I don't know if this is worth it. Yeah. It's not that much more expensive. It was $200 more round trip. I was like, yeah, it's $200, but I don't know if it was worth it. I'm debating. And then the flight back made me a little bit more irritated because they only gave me 2 beers. And I was like, why are you cutting it off? I paid all this money. First class, you give me 2 beers. Come on. I do feel like the flight back, I had a girl next to me and she was pretty hoity-toity, very mask-oriented. And you could tell every time I'd like take my mask off and drink, she was getting very uncomfortable by it. So that was kind of an unpleasant deal. But this next trip, so I'm leaving here in a week, going back. That one's premium class there and back. So that's, again, front of the economy. And so I'll do that again and see. And that's, not much more, $60 more for the tickets. Whatever. I mean, that's not that bad. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if I want to go back to first class after this, if it's worth it. I don't know.
Ridiculous. The upper class in this country.
I know. It was a great experience.
No delays or cancellations.
I have never once in my life had a delay or a cancellation on a flight, and I've flown a bit. I'm not one of those people that's flown a lot, but I mean, I've at least flown. At least 30 times. I've at least been on a plane 30 times, and I've never once gotten delayed through TSA, anything, nothing. I've always just normal experience, just go through, no delay,
Wow.
just get on the plane and go. I know, because I
Bullshit.
hear everyone talk about it. Oh, we sat in the tarmac for 45 minutes. Like, blah, blah. Like, huh? I don't know. Guess I'm just
Yeah.
lucky.
In a flight in Minneapolis, I sat on the tarmac for 3 hours in the plane.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's going to happen at some point, statistically.
That sucks. I'll throw this one in real quick. I don't know how much I want to talk about it. I know the last episode we did, I didn't really say much. I didn't say anything. But yeah, I put my my notice in at work, so
Really?
it's done and done.
I heard
Yeah.
about that. Interesting.
I'm pretty happy.
You figured you've
excited.
saved enough money now you can just coast for the rest of your life.
It's not that at all, but the last month has been a lot of putting things, the pros and cons of everything, and
Yeah.
it seems like the path I'm headed on is a lot of spending a time away from home, and to me,
Oh.
it's just like, you know what, and then just stepping back and just talking to the world, talking to people, and what's happening right now is if you can't get a job somewhere, anybody, I think you there's something wrong with you, because
Yeah.
everyone we talk to is having problems hiring people. We here in Colorado, we can't get people to work here. Any construction company you talk to can't get people to work. Wages are all high. People working on their houses, anything. It's just, if you can't get a job, you're being crazy. You're just being lazy. So I don't know. Now's a better time than any. And if I get to just stay home and do my own thing, it just sounds way better. It's like, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it. And then I'm also like, I'm definitely going into it a little nervous, and I don't have the best plan set in action. But I am a firm believer in just pulling the trigger on stuff, and
Yeah.
you just got to do it, and shit always works out. You can't just
It does.
you can't just not put effort in. But if you just set your mind and this is what I'm doing, and just pull the trigger, that's what happens. And from what I told you last time, didn't say anything on the show, but I wanted to go to Idaho, and I would like to go to Idaho, but there is a serious problem with Idaho right now with.
Oh my God.
So in my pros and cons weighing, it was, I'd made a plan, and then part of the plan was selling the house and going to renting. And I just really thought that one out, and I was like, I can't do that. I can't rent again. I'm not doing it. I'm just not renting anymore. I hated it when I did it. I don't want a landlord having this thing over my head that you got to like contact him to get a dog or something like that. It's like, dude, go fuck yourself. Like, I'll do whatever the hell I want to do. Having a house is pretty freeing in that. Just no one gets to tell you what to do. You know what I mean? I can build whatever I want. I can paint anything I want. I can get dogs, cats, do whatever. And so buying a house in Sandpoint is crazy talk. There is nothing for sale in Idaho. Nothing.
Yeah. Nothing.
There's a little bit in Coeur d'Alene, severely overpriced.
Yeah.
But everywhere's overpriced. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to be in Coeur d'Alene. It'd make me feel better to be in Sandpoint. But if you get on Zillow or Redfin or something and look at Sandpoint, there's nothing for, like, literally nothing. There's like 20 houses for sale. All of them, 80% of them are over $2 million, which that's a little out of my budget. And then, or property. It's just property. Well, I can't move to property. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know what? I already own a house. Everything's good there. And I got into that, what I thought was a crazy price, and looking at the housing market now, it's like, actually, I got a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Like, because, my house has already gone up 10% in equity. So that's insane.
Yeah.
So even if it kind of flattens out again, it's like, well, I'll still have a good mortgage. So yeah, that's the
Well, it's like people think, everybody always thinks like, if I leave this job, everybody here is this whole place is gonna crumble. Like, you'd always hear that in the restaurant business, like, this place couldn't get by without me. And everyone's just delusional. Like, everything works out just fine when someone leaves. And the same thing is like, if you quit your job and you think it's gonna be the end of the world, everything works out. Like, a lot of us have been fired or quit with no plan, and look where you are now. Everything worked out just fine.
So I will say, I was having a conversation the other night, and exactly what you just said, and it's how I feel, but I've always felt throughout life that shit just always works out. Always.
It does.
Always. It just always works out. But then you look at other people's lives, and shit doesn't work out all the time. But I swear to God, it's just the mindset. To me, and it's just the mindset. It's the mindset of, well, I'm willing to work, I'm willing to put effort in, but I'm not going to sit and stress about it because it is going to work out. And I think with that mind, it's almost I hate like the idea of The Secret and like that kind of bullshit, like self manifestation. But I think there is something there to where if you just have a positive attitude and you focus on something, you just I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
It will work out. You will, the world will find a way to fit you into it. So just whatever. But then, looking at people that just miserable shit happens over and over in their life, but then just talk to them and look at their mindset. And their mindset is the exact opposite. Just like, I always get fucked, it's always shitty, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, it's because you look at it that way and you're looking for the negatives and you're only focusing on negative. Got to focus on the positive. You have to.
There was a time in Idaho in 2014, I had a really shitty job, and it was at a cedar mill in Naples, Idaho, and it was called Welco Cedar Mill, and I worked there through a staffing agency for $10 an hour, and I worked the night shift where it was from 4:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the winter, and it was really hard to do. There was guys that I know that got jobs there that like walked out the first day, and these guys are way tougher than me. Like, I'm not that tough, but I was working in the cedar mill and like lasted for like 2 months in the winter, which was a big thing because so many guys would just quit the first day because it was too hard. And one way or another, I left that job. I'm not going to say it on here, but like I left that job with no plan. And I was like, I'm going to start my own business. So I fucking started making these logos and writing out all these plans and stuff and making a list of businesses in Sandpoint. And one day, like in the rain, I walked around all of Sandpoint writing down names of businesses because I just had this idea where I was going to, partner up with different businesses and do stuff. And like this took like, a month of my life planning and strategizing this whole thing. And then I got a job at Quest building airplanes and I just scrapped the whole thing. But I was like, what that did is like it gave me something to do, and I basically put like 40 hours a week into planning this thing that never happened. But what it did is like it kept my mind moving and gave me something to do. And looking back, it was actually a really fun thing that I was like hesitant to pull the trigger on, but was just planning it for like a month and walking around like doing footwork, driving around, making all these fucking notes and whatever. And I don't know, it was an interesting time, and it all works out.
Well, and to add on to that is I also think that looking back at every decision I've ever made, my favorite decisions I've ever made are always the most fearful decisions I've always made. The scaredest I've ever been of something, I look back, like moving to Portland. I was fucking petrified. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I could do it, blah, blah, blah. Looking back, it's like, oh my God, I'm so happy I did it. I like followed through, and I didn't want to do it. It would have been easy to just, no. I'm staying here, and like, those kind of decisions, those scary decisions, those are the ones that pay out too. I don't know. I'm happy. And then that's another thing is the great thing about right now and the way work is going is it's like, it's a great time to try something and fail because this isn't 1930s. This is, you fail. Okay. In one day you can go have a job. Anywhere.
Yeah,
anywhere you want. Just
I think it'll all work out just fine. It's inspirational.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to go for it.
Hell yeah!
And I'm just excited not to have a boss anymore. That's gonna be a good day.
To be home again.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, sweet.
Episode
Super Bowl.
78.
Super Bowl weekend.
Woo! Go Bengals! Go Bengals!
I'm in the big leagues.
Hell yeah.
Well, we love you guys. I don't know what the future's going to bring in the next few weeks. I don't know. But we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. We love you all. And we hope you have a good Super Bowl and a safe Super Bowl. Bye.
Got hits when they throwing the fastball. just too quick for it. Peeling off like the whip orange. Seen they effort, this piss poor. I got too much, I gotta tend to. Car payments and the rent due. Told y'all that I'm 6 foot, but with the money statement, I'm 10-2. Too much that I've been through, so I put it all in that rear view. Clean money in a black whip. Got old problems with the friends new. Yeah, I'm in the big leagues. Told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, told him I'ma hit it out the stands. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans. Told them this was always in the plans. I just did it cause they said I can. Blowing euros when I'm down in France. Labels asking how I build a brand. Told them put a check up in my hands. Who I got time, no cap. Made a few checks, but they all in the raps. Had a few friends, but they suck in the past. I don't even trip when I'm thinking about that. Hopped in the whip and we all in black. Shawty wanna ride till I hop in the back. 0 to 100, seen the rev on the dash. They ain't catching up, dog, I'm moving too fast. I'm in the big leagues. Told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in a big league.